Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called The Complicated Calculus and Cows of Carl Paulsen, written by Gary Eldon Peter. This is the story of a 10th grader named Carl who lives in a very small town in Minnesota, and he works most of his time on his family's dairy farm when he's not at school. He doesn't have a lot of friends. His mother died 2 years ago. He has a 3-year-old sister. He kind of feels like he's floating through his life. He's got a lot of things going on with school and his farming job at home, but otherwise he doesn't have a lot of relationships with other people. That is until his first day of 10th grade, when behind him in line for registration is a boy named Andy. And Andy's a little bit different from the other boys that Carl has known at school. He's from the big city. He has cowboy boots that are bright and shiny and clean, which tells you right away that he doesn't work on a farm. But there's something about Andy that intrigues Carl, and the rest of the school year is kind of focused on them getting to know each other a little bit better. This is Carl's first experience being attracted to another person. He's known for a long time that he is gay, and this has been the first person in real life that he's had any sort of feelings for. So this story gets into Carl's emotional journey as he's getting to know Andy, learning more about himself, and doing all of this in the absence of his mother. So his mother used to be the one that he'd be able to talk to about all the things that he needed to talk to. His dad is a little bit emotionally inaccessible. And Andy is the first person who's kind of lit him up and made him excited about things. So Andy ends up being a mystery for Carl most of the time. He has a personality at school, a personality at home, a personality when he's with Carl, and they all kind of don't always match up. So Carl's wondering exactly who Andy is, what his reality is, and of course he's a little bit afraid to ask him point blank about it. So they spend a lot of time together building this friendship, and Carl's learning about himself as he's going through this experience. So this is written kind of as a stream of consciousness. It's written in the first person from Carl's perspective. So as a reader, you really get into his emotions and his feelings, especially as there's dialogue thrown in from other characters, some of it homophobic, some of it strong language. There's some discussion of drug use in here as well. And you see Carl's feelings about all of it because you're really inside of his brain. So this is it's an interesting coming of age story. It'll resonate with readers no matter what your persuasion is. Anyone who's been through 10th grade will remember the feelings of kind of trying to figure out who you are and where you're trying to go in the world, along with some of the weightier adult subject matter that falls in here too, not only about sexuality, but also about the money issues that are happening at Carl's farm, and figuring out what his life is like with a live-in nanny who's not really his mother, but is kind of taking her place. This is a really succinct story. It flows smoothly and easily. You'll be breezing through it as you pick up the book. You won't really be able to put it down until the end. But despite the fact that it is shorter, it really does hold an emotional weight for you as you're reading it. So it's very meaningful, a nice read for anyone who's been through 10th grade, especially those who are in 10th grade and maybe feel a little bit out of place in their own communities. So if this sounds like a great fit for you, I hope you look for it at your favorite bookstore.